I'm just gonna go and hit
I
the
held that place down for like fucking 12
What
years.
was your station down here called?
Kilo
Kilo,
94.3
right.
Rocks, Colorado.
That's right.
all new rock all the time, and then it would spin like fucking Sabbath.
If you were lucky, man. There's this like we we temporarily break for our Godsmack hour to play to interrupt with some Godsmack, and then once you get to the 7 o'clock Godsmack power hour,
We're pooping on our local radio station. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
now keep in mind we're pooping on the station from 20 years ago.
It's no better, Jeff.
I don't.
Does it still exist?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, dude. All the terrestrial radios still exist. The dial's still full.
Do they play Creed and Nickelback?
Oh yes, yeah,
Freedom.
yeah. Listen to it long enough, you get a little book. You know. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Way back when she.
Not
like
really,
classics.
man. I mean, it's one of those things where like the music just hasn't changed in 30 fucking years. So you know,
Well, rock music.
yeah, that one in particular. So it's like, oh, what's this new version of old Metallica? Cool.
I don't even have a clue what new rock
It sounds the
group
same,
is.
Jeff. Or I mean, Will. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit different.
I
Like,
don't know a single.
what are you talking about? You went to Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
yeah, okay.
that's like,
I don't think they play that on Kilo though.
but that's like 15 years old.
Yeah, but it's newer than, you know,
Those are still some of the most expensive tickets you can get.
right.
Yeah, well,
They're up
yeah,
there with Taylor Swift. Yeah.
No,
How much were they?
I don't remember.
Oh,
I don't know.
I know
Wait,
my
are
my,
90
my
bucks,
wife and my
something like
daughter
that?
they priced them out when they were in Denver like 2 years ago. They were not $90. So
Well, were they playing the StubHub lottery, or were they just?
what's the StubHub lottery?
That's when you go to the scalpers. That's
Oh no, they
So-
wanted to buy it beforehand.
beforehand. Like about $200 would be normal. Taylor Swift would probably be about 500
Okay.
if you could get one of those tickets.
I think theirs was
But
about
most people-
$200. Yeah.
most
Maybe
people for
no, I don't think I paid 200 for it.
Well, that's why they didn't go. I mean, and they're going to a couple big, like they're going to Metallica this summer, and it's like $200.
Metallica?
Yeah.
Your daughter likes Metallica?
I don't know.
it's contemporary rock.
Yeah, it kind of
Well,
is.
you gotta-
he ain't dead yet.
Well, so okay, go back to this. All right, so you got to remember, Metallica started around 1980.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
God dang.
well, this is you got to remember. So Metallica is basically like what the Stones would have been for our family,
Yeah, okay.
for our
Yeah,
parents,
yeah,
where they're sitting there listening, like, wow, doesn't fucking like Brown Sugar, doesn't that fucking rock the box? Where it's like this, really, shaking things up, and then you're listening to it, it's like, man, this is some shit they play for like Jack in the Box commercials
I
and shit.
didn't listen to Rolling Stones. I mean, I didn't listen to much. But I'm not wrong.
Brings back the old
So-
thing.
So yeah, if you're watching
You're in a hotel lobby. You know?
exactly. So
Yeah.
if you're fucking the next time you're watching TV and they're selling like cheddar fries to a wolf and man, then it's
Yeah.
the music is kind of there's no edge to it whatsoever anymore. That's like my favorite song of those because like
Who? Wolf and
Metallica,
Edge?
yeah, well, of Wolf and Man. It's a song where they went out on a ledge and they're like, let's sing a song about being werewolves. And it's
I don't think I know that one.
you absolutely do. If
Yeah,
you have
you've
that
heard it.
if you have that Black Album, it's on there.
Oh, that's on the Black Album?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Well, there's a song, if you remember it, it's there's a song where they keep saying the word shapeshift.
Oh, yeah, that is on the
Yeah.
Black Album.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
That's a wolf and man. Because they
right.
are
Yeah,
werewolves.
you know what'd be cool?
And you know what it was? Because of like, you guys are having fun. I can tell you guys are absolutely having
They're
fun.
completely fucking drunk off their asses when they made songs.
I can imagine like just like one dude keeps pushing for us like, come on, man. It's like you wanted to put this on here for like the past 2 albums. Like,
You got that one idea ball still in the jar.
just one day they're like, all right, man, we're one song short.
Or to do the werewolf song, yeah.
It is about werewolves. It's like, no, it's about us as
As
werewolves.
werewolves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I love that song because it's so honest. I'm like, this is so childish. It's great. It's great. And you know what?
I haven't heard that one in a long time.
Fuck off. That album still kicks ass. By
Oh
the
yeah,
way.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's one of the few that I still own in CD format. So
Do you have anything to play it with?
my car,
Oh,
surprisingly, it's still got the slot. So it looks like where the plastic doesn't meet together anymore. But actually, no. You stick stick these discs into it, and it starts playing music. It's amazing.
your dashboard is cracked.
It's cracked.
Why's it got this hole?
It's got this button that doesn't do nothing. You know?
Do I put the aux cord in here?
Right.
Yeah, I gotcha. Oh my god, yeah, old Kilo. It's just it's that. It's like I don't know. How else can we ruin your night? It's like okay, sit down and enjoy some System of a Down, and yeah,
We saw them in concert, didn't we?
I didn't. You might have.
That was at a Metallica concert. Yeah, they were the opening band. System. Oh my god, I hadn't thought about
Really?
them in years.
Look, they're not awful. It's just they had a shtick. It worked for that time and place, as did like your Papa Roaches and um, you know, I know it's going to piss some people off, but there was a time and place for your Corn and everything else like that. So
Oh, there's still people who worship
yeah,
corn for some reason.
I mean, wasn't my thing, but that's okay.
I never liked corn. My brother was way into it.
He was way into it.
Yeah, he was way into it.
Oh, that's fine. It's again, it's. I guarantee you, there's plenty, plenty, plenty of things that I have enjoyed over the years that I would expect the average person to say, "What is this bullshit?"
Yeah.
Like this isn't even music. So
Some of it isn't. Yeah.
no, it's not.
No. No.
It's theater.
Right, yeah. I can't remember what it was. It was a while ago. You and I were talking about them on the podcast, and I had to go read. I got to go look on YouTube. It's their concert footage. It's
Oh.
awful, dude. It's
It's yo man, like how you can't be like because those dudes are in their 60s and they're still putting on their fucking Ubuntu the Mighty costume
right. Yes,
and
yeah. And hitting each other with plastic actors.
now either you're in the mood where you're like, look, this job is awesome, it never gets old, or you're like, I can't believe I'm putting on this fucking. And I think it's closer to number two. I really do. I think it's.
I don't know, man. I mean, it might be one of those things where you just eventually is like, all right, I'm that guy. I'm the guy who puts on the monster costume and eats the chick every night. You know?
Yes, that's right. And Beefcake is my brother. He's the
Beefcake
one
is my
with
brother,
the
yeah.
with the Roman helmet.
All right, yeah.
Yes, and I'm trying to remember. They didn't even really have a song that broke into the mainstream.
They never
had,
did. It was just spectacle, man.
Well,
And you saw them once, didn't you?
no.
Oh, I thought you told me you went
No,
to
no,
one
no,
of their
no,
ones.
no, no, no. They came up, and you're like, you asked me if I wanted to go. You didn't go because I didn't want to go.
Okay.
And
I'm glad you remember that.
well, they came. They've probably come to Colorado Springs like a half a dozen times.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. No, I've seen a lot of the I've seen a lot of the 80s bands that you would consider the heavy hitters of the era,
Yeah.
and that stuff like that. And quite a few 90s bands. And even into the 2000s a little bit, but yeah, Guar,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't
No, I haven't been in nothing.
fucking
Guar.
it's like, well, I don't want to go jump in the crowd. I've done that, and I also
No.
and well, the other thing is, what else am I going to do? Sit back in the seats and enjoy the music? I'm like,
No. You're going to watch fucking Muppets eat each other. Yeah. So,
I get.
know the Muppet Show.
You're
no.
fine, dude.
Yeah,
you missed
you're
out on
better enough.
a
Yeah.
little temporary counterculture phenomenon known as Guar.
Yeah, definitely don't know Guar.
known for their stage theatrics, costumes, prominent presence on Beavis and Butthead.
Didn't watch that show.
Yeah, they did show up on that show.
Well, they liked them
Beavis and Butthead liked them.
because they were 8th grade retards. And that's
yeah, that's exactly what made them cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to recognize it. This is the thing that people forgot about the show is they're like, kids look up to these people. I'm like, why?
What? No.
No, this is you laugh at them, not with them.
No, no.
Right.
And nobody did back then. It was like, you guys are so dumb that it's
Right.
funny. Yeah.
And they were saying that these impressionable youths were, starting fires because of these, cartoons and stuff.
Kids do that without cartoons. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
What's this?
So you just said they're so dumb it's funny.
Yes.
Then why you like Beavis and Butthead?
To this day, yes.
Yeah.
Then
The
why don't
reboot
you
was
like
great.
Will Ferrell?
Because the characters are dumb, but the show is not written dumbly.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah.
Do I have to draw the Punnett square for you again?
Probably, but I don't see the difference. Dumb
Okay.
is dumb to me.
No, there is. So smart is in this quadrant. Dumb is down here, right? Then there's dumb stupid and stupid dumb. And what I want you to do is think about shows that are smart shows written for smart people. That doesn't happen very often, right? Because you're writing to a, I don't want to say necessarily sophisticated audience, but limited, right?
There's been some mainstream shows.
Not many. No.
What about Seinfeld?
Seinfeld,
Yeah.
you could put here, right? Because it was, even at its time, look, it tanked its first few seasons because people didn't get what it was doing, right? A lot of shows will be like this if they're writing to it. And it eventually found its audience when they found out, like, this is not, like, if you're looking for the Cosby Show out of this, the structure will not be
This is
here,
not the Cosby Show. Yeah.
right?
Right.
And eventually it caught on and caught some steam, but it got its ass kicked. It was on the verge of cancellation its first few seasons, but you could put it there. There are also shows that, shit, like back in the day, like when all those cable channels got their names, and they would be things like Bravo and things like this, they had shows like that were for people that liked arts and entertainment. A lot of shows used to go on there. Then somewhere around where the gold shows come up, or I don't know. I don't know if it's them or intervention or whatever it is, but something.
See, that's a smartly written show. Exhibiting a lot of dumb people that you're allowed to laugh at. Yeah. Or Hoarders. Hoarders is the one that's like, oh my
Yeah,
god, I can't
it's
believe
just-
you would just throw out the fucking pizza box when you're in it, you know? So
Yeah, I know. And again, it's just like those shows that just hinge on enjoying human misery to basically elevate your life by looking at somebody's who's
that's Beavis and Butthead. Yeah.
well.
See, and
No,
those
Hoarders
shows are
is.
just not for me.
Yeah.
No, and that's fine. And then you have shows that seem smart to dumb people.
Oh yeah.
Pawn Stars?
Yes.
Yup. I'm sorry.
It's like, you could get me a truck too. I think Pawn Stars is the best example of that.
I'm sorry. It's that sitcom you love so much. It's The Big Bang Theory is a
That one.
show that
Yeah.
seems smart for dumb people.
Yeah.
I think that goes right in there with Friends and all the rest of them.
It doesn't, because it tries to present itself as it basically skinwalks all of these nerd culture things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just because it's a smart show, a dumb show,
It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it.
it doesn't mean that's not funny.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the audience they're going for, right?
Right.
And then you have that other quadrant.
Like 2.5 Men was like that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anything that you recognize, like you can recognize this as stupid. Like again, this is where you get like stupid dumb, which is where shows like Mystery Science Theater go, where The premise is fucking stupid robots talking during the movie.
Well, there's a guy too.
Right. He can't go home. He can't stop the movies because he built the robots with the parts that would let him stop the movies. They're puppets, William. And this is the thing is
all they do is
they're just making fun of old movies.
like bad movies too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Universally bad movies.
It's correct.
Yes.
Yes.
That involve boot blacks.
That would be basically dumb stupid or dumb smart. It's a dumb premise, but it requires intelligence to make that work.
To make it funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
Those are the four squares. And people don't want to write for that one in the top right. That shit gets you canceled fast. Those are those things where you're like, wow, how did Aaron Sorkin's Sports Night only last 1 year? Like, well, yeah, because you wrote for people in here. Yeah, that doesn't work.
I don't even know what that was.
Of course you don't. That's the thing. This shit like comes and goes super fast because it doesn't find Mr. Belvedere's not here. It's in this quadrant, okay? And it's in this quadrant because he has kind of an accent.
Which quadrant are you pointing at?
Yeah, so I'm sorry,
the-
dude. You need a whiteboard.
Your arm drifted down. Are you still up in the smart?
system is not working.
Because then you said because he has an accent, so I'm like, is
You
that
know what's
smart?
amazing?
Smart?
Is you guys could even see my arm moving. The whole thing that's being recorded. This is a complete waste of time. I'm just like,
Yeah, I just see your arm behind the computer.
this would be when if we had an editor, he'd be drawing. He'd show the.
I think he'd quit by now.
Right.
It looked like your arm dropped into whatever quadrant it was, which you didn't even know which
Well,
quadrant
it wasn't. It wasn't here. It wasn't. Okay, no, I can give you. Okay, so I can say that Mad Men goes in the top right quadrant.
Did you ever watch that show?
No,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't think I've watched the final season. I think I could actually go through that.
It does wrap things up, and it actually does. It's actually one of the few shows that I thought actually climbed as the seasons went up and ended in an extremely satisfying way.
Yeah, it did have a good ending.
Huh, okay.
Extremely sad.
Yeah.
One that I would not have seen coming in a million fucking
And it
years.
didn't feel played out either. Yeah.
Because they built to it. And I also understand that, you know, when we were talking about the boring section, the boring wall at Blockbuster the other day?
Yeah.
I understand everybody that says that show goes in the boring section.
It kind of does. Yeah, did you like it?
I did.
Oh, ooh, that's weird.
Because, look, anybody that tells me, like, I'm surprised that you like it because even to me, I'm like, nothing's happening. You know, but, you know, that being said, there's always something happening. And the fucking show is so, there's not like a wasted line of dialogue in that show. It's amazing.
I haven't watched that in a while.
Whereas,
Because that was AMC, right?
No.
Was it
Was it?
HBO?
I think it was AMC. Whatever the same show that yeah.
Walking Dead.
Yep.
But
Yep.
AMC throws on marathons of Walking Dead all the time. Whatever.
Just because people
This
are
is
watching
a dumb
it.
show written for dumb people. Yeah.
So, but Mad Men made them tons of money. So
Not as much as Walking Dead. Not as much as Breaking
not
Bad.
as much. But yeah, those shows. It would be something that they would have.
I don't
remember.
It might have been on HBO.
No,
It wasn't
AMC.
HBO.
No, it wasn't on
was-
HBO because I didn't own it.
No, it was on
It was
AMC.
definitely
Okay.
a cable one.
I think it was AMC.
Guys, you forget that AMC also had shows like Freak Show and the fucking show with like the taxidermists.
Taxiderm? I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Oh.
these are all things that used to follow like The Walking Dead.
Well, until they was like, Talking Dead.
Right.
It's like, we
right.
got to make a show about our show.
Do you remember? Yeah, remember back then when it was show again, show talking about the show,
And then
show
yeah,
again.
Yeah. Premiere, double premiere.
Yes,
Yeah.
essentially 4 hours of the same show. The easiest
it was on
programming to do
Sundays,
Sunday
too.
nights. Yeah, the easiest
Yeah.
programming to do Sunday night. It's like we're really scratching our heads on this one. It's like it's
It's had at least, 2 spinoffs? So.
Has
I
it?
think so. I think it's a 2.
I know the one. What's the other one?
There's Fear, and then there's I think one that Daryl got his own show or something like
did?
that, or Carol did, or
Is Daryl Crossbow guy?
yeah.
That's Crossbow Guy.
Okay, I've never known his name.
It's Daryl.
Okay.
Norman Reedus. I think.
Reedus,
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
One of the two got their own show. They went somewhere else.
So was there another show with like Michonne or?
God, I don't have a clue.
I don't know,
know.
man. I only watched like 2 seasons of that.
I watched. Did I watch all of it? I watched pretty close all of Walking.
Is it over?
The main one is.
Yeah.
Oh,
But they didn't end it like the comic ended, did they?
did you tell me the
Oh,
comic
I-
ended with like
It was a
rainbows
giant
and sunshine?
fuck you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
everybody,
think they did.
Oh, it was awesome. It was like you flip the page and it's 30 years later and society's fine. So
I mean, they did have stuff where it. I don't know if they were in the future or something, but they had a full on town and it looked like normal.
okay.
I mean, old day normal, but
Right, yeah. Like you can get you on down to the wishing well kind of.
yeah.
Okay, sort of like in the same way that Train to Busan is sort of a happy ending.
Kind of.
Well, because
Except for the fact that like half of Korea is clean. But they
But that
salted.
city's fine.
they salted.
Well, they plugged a tunnel, so
They're
I
saying
mean, they might be able to get over the mountains. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I will. I don't want to look now, but I'll check and see if there's a Train to Busan too. And
If there is, there's going to be. If there isn't, then it's fine.
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Or
right.
it's just the one. Right.
It's not going to be like 28 years later. It was like, wait a minute, I thought they all starved to death. It was like, no. No, they found plenty of food to eat in France.
I would not like to have been in the room. I would have been that dude that got like fired. Then for that dude that was saying nah when they were like, let's do another Highlander. Because like it was like,
Are they doing one right now?
Yeah, they are.
Are there?
I think so.
Actually, no. I think you're right. I think I did hear that they're working on it.
I can't
Yeah.
tell the things that are real or fake because I saw something
Oh.
that showed that like it was Henry Cavill being the Highlander,
That would be great.
That would be pretty good.
and I was like, "Oh, well, that'd be kind of cool."
You know what?
Is this
'Cause he
real?
actually-
Is this not real?
Because that dude only works on shows that he.
Enjoyed.
Yes. Yeah. That's why. Of course, of all things, they're working on a Warhammer 40K show, and they actually do have him involved. And
Isn't he running the whole thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it is the dumbest universe in history. The whole thing is entirely based on sort of lampooning the grimdark era of the 80s. But what happens is sometimes people like it. This
Jeff, there are legions of people who love that.
love
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Love it. And I remember when for a while there, it's like you knew the two dudes that were into it. It's like, well, I know this one, and then there's one on the other side of town, and they don't even like each other, but they both like that.
They both like that. Yeah.
But it's like picked
so
up
what happened to
steam.
all the Mech Warrior guys?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit. No shit.
Yeah.
You actually I saw something the other day. I remember like the Mech Warrior illustrations. I thought they were cool.
Yeah.
Those ones in like the early 90s were awful, but they are doing amazing shit with those now.
I thought they looked cool back then, but yeah, now if you
Look at them now.
No, I did. I have.
You're like, y'all didn't take gravity into effect with your drawings.
No.
This shit looks childish. It's like, get a fucking ruler. It's just. Oh, the ones that I used to think were so dope. I thought the illustrations in the Warcraft 2 manual were badass, but yeah, you
I
just look at
haven't
it. It's
seen
like
that
this
in
is
years.
really pedestrian. I was like,
I think I
okay.
might have a copy of that somewhere.
I guarantee you. That seems like the kind of thing that you're about to put in the trash, and then you pull back.
Well, I have a
Nah.
box that I traveled around with for years that
Yeah.
had my computer game manuals in it. So
Okay.
that one might
All
be
right.
in there.
All right.
So, because you gave me the colonization one, and it found its way into there.
Okay.
So I do
Okay.
have a
Yeah.
couple of old
All right.
in there. That one might be in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why I saved that
Don't
box,
have-
but
Again, it's because you're about to put it in the trash. And you're like, I have room for this. I can save this.
I think the only reason why I got saved was because when we left here, it made its way to my storage shed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And where it lived for the next 3 years. Yeah.
I understand.
Still alive today.
Well, all that shit eventually made its way to my current house. So, because there was two houses, two houses and an apartment where I had that storage shed. So,
But see, that's the thing is,
back when it used to cost like $28 a month.
how much does it cost now?
I have no idea. I have no need for that. I have a
Okay.
basement.
Okay, you know the other thing, your box of instruction manuals, that's one box. That is not
It's a box.
29 long boxes of 90s comics.
No, it's not.
Don't make that face. You know.
Yeah, so like, yeah,
They're mine.
that's fine, dude. I got you. I got my Warcraft 2 book, and I think there's a Civ 2 book in there too. So, in fact, I know there is.
I'm still quite prideful. I even built a whole shelf so that they would be elevated off the ground in case my basement ever floods.
Oh.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, I understand, but those are what you should be using to break the flood. To stop it from getting on your valuable shit. Because 90s comics, nothing is valuable in there.
About as valuable as any of the other stuff in my house.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't have anything that's
Yeah, that's
terribly
true.
valuable
Do you
in
have
my
any-
house.
What am I protecting?
I was gonna say, like, yeah. Do you have any?
I have 10 little silver bars.
All right.
Why'd you get those?
One of the guys at work was buying them. And he's
Oh.
like, "You should buy some." I was like, "All right, I'll take 10." So I have 10 tiny little silver.
Silver bars. Well, to trade after the apocalypse.
I know this is fine.
This shiny metal's going to be worth a lot more when everybody else is dead.
It's my last bartering chip.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a gun?
No.
Okay.
My girlfriend does.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
One?
She's got 5.
Oh, okay. All right.
That
That's enough
that's
to hand out.
good.
That's enough to
No,
harm
that's,
the
that's,
family.
I'm gonna
You
say
know,
that's,
yeah.
We went shooting a few weeks ago
Oh, yeah? Where'd you go?
to the North
The
Range.
indoor one?
The indoor one.
Yeah.
It was fun. I haven't shot in decade-ish about.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was cool.
What did you have?
We just shot her pistol.
Wow.
Pistols, 38.
Or was it a revolver or?
No.
Okay.
Was it 38? 20? I don't remember even what it is. It's a gun.
Is it good?
All right.
This is shooty bang bang.
It has a 15-round clip.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I know.
It's still cool.
Well, you had to aim like way high and off to the right a little for it to hit.
You know, you can fix that. There's a little screw on the side.
They don't all do that.
My
I mean-
gun, so I'm not gonna mess with it.
Like,
Like,
you hold it like this.
The joke is lost in the audience, but the face was brilliant. That's some real Eka Mouse shit right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I was watching. I did get sucked in the gun tube a little bit. Just
What'd you find?
I was looking at. I was doing a little bit of research on why Vulcan or miniguns aren't used that often.
What'd you find out?
They're just horribly inefficient. Like they're not.
Ammo.
Well, it's not just the ammo. It is the ammo, but on top of that, it's just it doesn't really like single-barreled shit can do the job just fine.
Mm-hmm. Unless you like, they use them to shoot down like fucking missiles. Or,
Right.
You know, when you need a lot of lead on a very
Right.
small area very
Yeah.
quickly. Because like even like the C-130, the gunship, it has a I think it might be a 30 millimeter Gatling on it, but it can only shoot for it's like 17 seconds.
It's
Total.
so fast
Yeah.
that it goes through. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing's true with while your air-to-air guns, they're all miniguns.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think like the F-16 has enough ammo for less than 8 seconds.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's like and you get to do that like 3 times, and that's it.
Yeah.
Movies make it seem like you have a
No.
lot more.
Yes. So,
Now I think that thing on the A10 I think it has more because that's its primary weapon, right?
no, its primary weapon is ATGMs, guided missiles. So,
But it is also meant to like go low and slow and fucking strafe the shit out of stuff too.
yeah,
right?
but again, it doesn't do it that long.
Yeah.
So, like when you see this, like on the war porn, where they're tearing up dudes in Afghanistan, and it's just kind of thing. It can only do that like 3 times. So, and it's got to go back. So,
But that's a lot. Well, and
it's a lot of bullets.
that was the thing was they were showing that it's very effective just to basically do that with like a side gunner from a helicopter too. It's like it's just like it's not.
Well, a lot of
Actually,
those guys
it's-
have miniguns too. So,
Yeah, they kind of broke down like different things. Like, oh, okay, this is interesting, and this the same thing where they're talking about why you wouldn't carry these things in the field. And like, well,
To carry that much ammo, you have to be
can't
Jesse
do it,
Ventura.
man. Yeah. Well, even Jesse Ventura could fight. I mean, you've seen the ones where the guys make like the dart versions of that,
yes,
and it literally takes like 4 seconds to
Yes.
empty a backpack ammo. Imagine if all that's lead ammo.
yes, not empty plastic tubes.
Right.
Yeah, well, because they broke down. It's like, well, the gun weighs this much. It's like, oh, right. So you're really not carrying that. It's like, all right, got it. Then there's the ammo. So what about it? It's like, well, this thing is full of it, all of it,
All of it.
and you get like 6 seconds worth of shooting.
Yeah.
Then you just keep lugging around this heavy ass thing
Right.
that does nothing for you.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's why they put them on ships, and like the Army has ones that are stationary, and they use them to shoot down incoming missiles. So,
And there's other stuff to shoot down missiles with too. That's probably better.
other
I've seen.
missiles.
Well, that too.
That's
yeah.
what a Patriot
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
That's just math.
it is just math.
It calculates trajectory.
Yep. Well, it's one of them sneaky ones that you can fly yourself. So,
There was this. Oh my god! This was the.
the POV missile.
Do you remember the Seek Revenge? There was this. There was this. You remember? You remember this was maybe like 2 years ago when people were going nuts. They were like, "Oh my God, China is the society of the future," and they were showing that fucking bendy bus. And
Dude, I'm sorry, TikTok's been full of that shit lately.
Oh
so
my
I'm
God.
curious where you're going. With
so
this, man.
okay, yeah, because that was the thing. Like, it only took like an hour of that before people said, like, "I wrote that fucking thing in Baltimore."
Yeah.
But it's like that's not from the future. But there was this. There was this one fucking dickhead. I can't remember his name. He's like, China is now showing they're doing electric flying car cabs, and look at how far advanced they are. And that was the thing was it only took like 30 minutes in the thread for poor people were like, you mean like these ones and these ones and these ones,
Yeah,
the ones that we all have here, but we'd never let them use them? It's like, why? It's because the FAA says these are nothing but a fucking nightmare, and we haven't figured out how to
Because it's technically
remotely-
a helicopter, yes.
right. We haven't figured out how to remotely safely integrate these into our society. If
Yeah.
China is actually going to fly these,
Let them.
it's like let them knock themselves out.
knock yourself
But
out.
people are going to die by the scats, and other people were like, "Well, don't you think this would be cool for commercial use?" I'm like, "Have you lost your mind?" It's like most of you, I don't trust with one axis, right?
We tried that. Walmart was doing that for a little while. So, it was just like, okay, I mean, what a better way to steal somebody's package than to watch it, like, literally look
Right.
at it, Yeah.
You want to talk about like the absolute, the accusations of racism when you punch it, it's like, yeah, deliver it here, and it says can't deliver to your neighborhood.
Right.
Why?
Because someone's going to
Why?
jack my drone.
Why?
Why? Why?
Why?
Why? You could just throw a net over it.
Well, here's the thing: is if you punch that in and you put in the address and it says blah 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 Rock Rimmon, no problem. It goes right over there, right? But there are other places
Yeah.
and just it's outside of our delivery area,
Whitefield? No.
and then you get sued.
Yeah. No, I saw there was a thread. I think it might have been on Twitter. It might have been on TikTok. I can't remember. No, it was definitely on Twitter because I saw one of the China guys chime in the replies.
Okay.
Saw this one. It had this really fancy like rail with a car that hang from it. It's going really fast, like back and forth. It's like fancy shit. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. They're like, check out China today, kind of thing. And then it's like he's like, it's a fucking monorail. So, he posted a picture of one from like the 1920s. It looks almost exactly the same.
Well, we talked about that look at that futuristic forward-thinking design where the train goes through the building.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, that's genius. Like, yeah, you live there and tell me that's genius.
I want you to live on that floor.
Right.
It's just assholes who played Cyberpunk and said, oh, yeah, we're going to live in a mega building. It's going to have its own fucking train station in it. It'd be the most walkable city ever.
Okay, yes, it would be. But again, the whole thing is, like, there's no part in Cyberpunk that says we're doing it right. It's just like,
in fact, you were actively discouraged not to take the public transport.
Like, you don't live here, you manage. I mean, it's just
you survive.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
They had that in a movie too.
Where?
Train that went inside the building. I can't think.
Well, it looks cool.
It
Don't get me
does.
wrong, but
Yeah, that in the Bruce Willis one. What was
Yeah, I
it?
think it was.
Fifth Element?
Yeah.
You know what? If it did, I could see it. I don't remember the scene, but it probably happened. Yeah.
It was where he was getting chased out of the cab. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He was a cab driver in that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
A flying cab.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah, flying cab.
So stupid. I mean, just again with that. Did you see the F-47?
See?
Yeah.
It's just an artist concept. It's not even on the fucking drawing board. So
Yeah.
did you see the actual announcement? It's like this cloud with wheels,
Yeah.
because they don't know what it looks like yet. So, and then I can't believe they gave the contract to Boeing too, man.
I was so surprised by that.
Yeah, I
man.
was too.
It's like, you guys, like, I don't know what version of their reputation they looked at and said, boy, you're really, like, didn't we just have to rescue your astronauts from the space shuttle, from the space station, because
Was it Boeing?
their city Starliner is the one that broke and left them there? And then you get into all their things.
I thought they were NASA guys.
Well, they were NASA guys, but they were on the
There was a
on
Boeing
the
rocket.
Starliner. Yeah. That's the thing that broke when it was there. Then for 9 months, Joe Biden wouldn't let Elon Musk go get them.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
then,
there's a book out that came out the other day about Joe Biden's presidency that I kind of want to get my hands on.
me too. Did you see the stuff that's been coming out where, like, he's not that cognizant, but he's basically saying, no matter what happens, Kamala Harris cannot be president.
I've only seen a couple like blurbs on it. I don't know how like legit it is. I was going to let it marinate out there for a couple weeks and go grab it, but it made it sound like he was basically, I don't. It was like being led around by a leash.
Yeah, they had like fluorescent tape on the floor.
Okay, yeah, that's the same book.
building.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I heard that too.
Because he couldn't get out of somebody's house.
Well, and he kept trying to leave, or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just half the fucking events. It's like, okay, well, you were just in the middle of talking.
So who's responsible for that? I mean, that's kind of interesting. I mean,
The press.
I don't know. It's got to be his chief of staff.
Well,
So-
no, the press should have been reporting on this.
I
stuff,
totally
and
agree
then-
with you on that one, but
And then the people would have demanded change.
I don't care about the press on this one too much. I want to know the guy who was actually in charge. I want to know who that fucking person was now. So
Actually, to tell you the truth, it was probably like 6 or 7 people. The same 6
I
or
want to know. I want names. I want to know who they are.
the same 6 or 7 people that basically pushed through certain things of their agendas that Joe Biden himself would never have spearheaded.
Like what?
Joe Biden would never have given a fuck about a Trans Day of Awareness on the White House
Okay,
lawn.
but who's the guy?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
don't know the guy,
See, I want to
but
find
the team back there.
Well, did he hire his cabinet?
Well, that's the thing is if you look at the cabinet,
Yeah.
there are some super progressives in there.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it was between them that were making a lot of these decisions.
And see, I'm thinking
Which one? Can't say.
Yeah, see, I want to know who it is. So now I'm curious. My money's on his whoever. I don't even know who his chief of staff was. So, but that would be the guy who's basically leading around all day. So
That would be one. I would argue that what we're probably going to find out is that his wife actually probably had a shit ton of
that might
sway
be true too. Yeah,
in there because she's more progressive than he is.
yeah. Dr. Jill Biden.
Yes, that's right.
Doctor.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, there's got to be like a few people there. So they can't hide for too long.
It's going to come out. I mean, they were yapping. They were saying that Biden himself was releasing stuff saying that he's interested in getting back into politics. I'm like, all right, suit yourself.
They're going to print whatever he says. I think the words that come out of his mouth have not connected to his reality.
No, so you spent 40% of your time on vacation when you actually did show up at events. Like you stopped talking mid-sentence, walked away, went to the bathroom in the closet, and then like got fucking lost on the way out. I mean, it's like, dude, this is embarrassing. And you're right, it is the press that's responsible, and I don't think the public at large has forgiven them yet. I don't think they will.
No, they haven't. I mean, if you take a look at how they're like handling the press pool now, it's hilarious. So
But they treat them like children.
they do. They give them a seating chart.
They do. When you so it's funny to see the change.
They let fucking Tim Pool in there. It's great.
It's like the change in.
Tucker's a turd. You know.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you bald motherfucker. It's like
Well, him and his 4 lackeys.
Yeah. But yeah, the change in like in perspective where it was if you go back to the different press secretaries, like you get berated by one where it's like you have one side of it, and then you look at the I can't even remember her name where basically it's like, what's a dumb question? Why don't you go outside, think it over, come back in?
Dude, have you seen her? She is like 4'2". She is
Oh,
tiny.
really?
She is tiny.
She's got short guy syndrome if I've ever seen it.
So every time I've seen her, she's been pretty polite about it. She's like that second grade teacher that you didn't fuck with.
Well,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
She's not rude about it.
Well, she does get fucking lippy with some people, but I mean that's
That's like teacher rude. Yeah.
I could see that. It's
Yeah.
it's like Mr. Kelly. Thank you for finally making it here on time. I'm glad you could join us.
You could grace us with your presence.
Better late than never, I always say.
Yeah, but I saw a picture of her with like some of the other people in the press pool, and she is short, man. So she's like Lauren Boebert short.
Yeah, but she doesn't look as fucking white trashy though. She looks like.
Actually, she's been quiet lately. I haven't seen her that much.
Which one are you talking about?
The press
The
secretary.
current press
Oh, the
secretary.
current
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
I don't either, and it's not even a hard name to remember.
No.
But that's why I don't remember it.
Yeah.
It's not something bizarre. It's
Yeah.
not. It's like this is Garanagar. The mighty.
This is the mouth of Thor.
Is that the name of the title? Was it both?
Right. The answer is yes.
That's how I worked for the Shropshire Slasher, if you
Mhm.
remember him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He
Wasn't
almost
name an
said
occupation.
What's it say?
No, there was so the what do they call it today? I know it's the midnight of terror, wherein all of the reciprocal tariffs go into place. But
They call it like American
Liberation Day.
Liberation Day, right?
Oh,
Right.
I'm so in love with this.
I feel like I'm
He's finally did something that I'm doing like 100% on board with. I feel it's everybody that I've been watching the last like 3 weeks, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a bluff, just a bluff." And I'm like, "It might not be." So, and I was spending time tonight eating dinner, watching them gyrate.
they sure are, man.
They sure are.
Um,
So I haven't checked my raviolis though; they might not be happy. So
um,
they might be very happy.
I don't know if that. Look, all I can tell you is that everything was on a slope like this.
It was tanking.
All of it.
Everything that I was seeing, they said something.
The three markets were all like down.
What did
like
they say?
1,000
They said it was like 1.5 trillion in market cap got wiped out. Now, here's the thing: is I do not know what the rebound on this is going to be. I don't know when or how or what. I am now convinced.
Dude, this is jumping off a cliff in the dark.
Yeah,
We're not quite sure.
right. Do I think we'll be fine? Yes, but that's a relative term. I don't know. Like, I think our lives are going to be okay.
Oh, I'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah, I have no plans on buying a new car anytime soon.
Right.
I never do buy new things, so none of these things really bother me.
I can't see you using or buying like a used hot water heater, though.
I just bought one a couple years ago. I'm good.
Was it fresh?
Mine's fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
So,
took
in
the
fact,
plastic off it yourself?
It's still got nice paint on it.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know when mine.
You'll replace it when it
Some point.
needs to be
When,
replaced.
Just buy an American car.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, dude, you know what? I don't have a problem with that logic. Again, there's things where I see that, like, all right, so if that's going to bring in business, I don't know. Like you said, just jumping off a cliff in the dark. I have to sort of accept this, like, because I've said a lot of times nothing ever happens. Now something's happening,
Yeah. Yeah. This one qualifies.
and it
So-
could be huge.
Well, the other countries cave.
I
Some
don't
of
know
them
if
will.
he's going to let them. So, you know, I mean,
Ontario, the guy from Ontario, basically put out the wimpiest message earlier
who's
today.
that?
Ford, I
What?
think, from Ontario in Canada. Yeah,
Canada?
yeah.
Oh.
One guy in Ontario.
Well, he's the since they're broken up in the provinces, he's the dude in charge there.
So he's like the governor of Ontario?
Yeah, but it's not governor. It's
Lord.
it may be governor. I can't remember. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
it's some dumbass title, but whatever. It's Canadian. Who gives a fuck? But yeah, he basically,
He's the comptroller.
That'd be funny if they're actually were like, what are you? It's like, I'm the Duke.
I'm the
Um,
viceroy.
Yeah, but he was talking trash like about a week and a half ago, and this morning he slipped out this tweet that was just kind of like, well, I'll drop everything if you do. So I don't know.
Because that means everybody that buys America. Well, how much stuff does America sell to the rest of the world?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. It's more.
Yeah,
It's
a lot more than you think.
it's more than you think,
Yeah.
but less than
Buy
it
more,
could be.
Or do we
we
sell?
we
more?
buy a lot more, but we always
Yeah.
have.
Right.
So we've never had a trade surplus in this country.
So wouldn't
Ever.
that hurt us?
Ask any economist, and they're all like, "Oh, this is fucking terrible." But I mean, like,
I guess unless you get to the point where you're building your own stuff, which is what he's trying to.
well, that's part of it. But
Right.
the other thing is like, so I'm not big on a lot of that free market bullshit. I mean, as a business, I teach in a business school.
Right.
And the first thing that any smart business person does is try and like find a competitive advantage,
Right.
or like,
Right.
That's why I have rules against monopolies.
that's why they have rules against monopoly, because every businessman would like to be a monopolist.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so like, yeah, every economist is going to tell you that this is bullshit. Okay. It's not efficient, but like just looking at it from a business standpoint, if I owned like, a fab shop, okay, where I was making parts and I've been competing with cheap ass Chinese parts for the last 10 years,
Right.
I'm kind of on board with this.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So even if my inputs are a little bit more expensive, okay, because I'm going to make up for it in customer base. So at this point, so I mean, I would actually be a lot on board with that. Now, if I was building a house and trying to get lumber for, I don't know if I'd be happy about that. So
Right.
yeah, or
Right.
because there are some things that we do import a shitload of. It's not food. I'm not worried about
No.
food. People are, oh, your milk's going to cost more. It's like, my milk comes from fucking Wisconsin. So,
Right.
yeah, fuck off with that, So it's like I don't buy, like, Brazilian milk.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You go to, it's like, Lucerna is not a Mexican name.
Right, yeah.
No.
Or, like, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to buy, like, special Argentinian beef when, like, Texas beef is fine.
It'll do.
Oh, that's great.
It'll do a pinch,
yeah,
Patrick.
oh my god, yeah. I can't get my Chilean sea bass. So, but I mean, I can see some people it's like, well, fuck off then. If you need to have,
Right.
actual imported Italian olive oil, then pay for it, bitch. Mine
Pay
comes
your
from California. I'm
15%
fine with that.
more.
Yeah.
Right. This is the shit that's supposed to be expensive.
Right.
That's
Right.
why you're choosing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about gas because we make more gas than anybody. So
And we're better at it than anybody.
we export the fuck out of our gasoline. We send it all over the world. So
And I can tell you that we are exceptional at getting it out of the ground in terms of both productivity and cleanliness.
well, and I mean, some of it we don't even get out of the ground. We get it from Saudi Arabia, and we trade them, fucking diesel fuel for
Well,
it.
there's that too, yeah. But
Yeah, because they don't refine it. So there you go.
but in terms of when we do get out of the ground,
It's fine.
we're exceptionally good at it
Yeah.
compared to the rest of the world.
We got more gas than we'll ever need. So
Yeah.
that's fine.
We can make more too.
Yeah, we can make more if we need to. I mean, we were talking about electric cars the other day.
Yeah.
People, lots of them out there on the roads. So I'm not worried about getting gas.
Do we have natural gas?
We have so much of that we burn it. Yes. There is a city that you can see from space in South Dakota that's not actually a city.
Yep.
Yeah, but it looks like it at night from space.
Those guys have a lot of TVs and lights on.
Right, yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
A lot more people in North Dakota than I thought there were.
So I don't know, man, but if you want a new fridge, okay. Your $2,000 fridge is going to be $4,000.
Right.
Wait,
Better
why'd it
fucking take
double?
care of it.
Why would it double instead of just going up?
Who knows, dude? I mean, I just pulled that out of my
Okay.
ass. So it's not going to be a one-for-one thing, though. Like, if the tariff is at 15%, you're not going to pay 15% more for something. So, because people are going to get out of that market, there's going to be fewer suppliers in that market.
Right.
Certain customers are going to be like, well, fuck it, I'm not paying an extra 15%. I'll keep my old one, so demand will go down.
Yeah.
So like all that shit will get expensive. But the whole idea of like people getting new cars every 3 years, I've never understood that. So but I know lots of people who do, So, and the same thing's true, like
Yeah.
with phones or other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other things that we just don't make in this country, yeah, they're going to be expensive until they set up production here somehow. And the first thing is going to be chips, and so you're not going to have domestic phone production until next president. So it's going to take that long to set some of that shit up.
Well, I got my new phone, so
My phone is 7 years old, and it'll be fine. I think it's like a cat, man. It might make it to 14.
This is the other thing is phones are a different story. They seem like they're not, but they are, because phones those are subsidized by your phone company.
Correct.
You don't feel the actual price of that because it's built into your contract. So the way that you'll feel it is, oh, you get a new phone? Okay, well, instead of $20 extra a month, it's $35.
Yeah, it might be that way too.
It is. Just that's how people buy their phones now. I mean, there are some people that there are some real gangsters that go out there onto, like, they go straight to Google or whatever, and it's like, yeah, you can buy an unlocked Pixel. It's like $2,000.
Yeah,
or whatever, $1,200.
Yeah,
right. No problem. There's losers from. I want to pick on a publication, Engadget. Or
oh yeah.
who go out there and say they'll spend the $2,200
Yeah.
on the new foldable,
Yeah.
so they can review it for 6 weeks. Like, okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the rest of us get that subsidized by T-Mobile.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Very much so. So
And if I paid full price of what it costs, there's no way I'd get a new
You wouldn't
phone.
do it. No,
yeah,
not a chance. And I mean, that's part of they treat it like trade-in cars too, where it's like, all right, well, this is 5 years old and not in bad shape. We'll give you $600 trade-in on it.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
wipe it and sell it to some dude in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the funny thing is, they're still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Scott.
I still have my old phone. It boots up just fine. So it
the
doesn't
one I traded
affect
in
anything. Yeah.
is 4 years newer than his phone.
Yeah. And if you really wanted to, you actually could crack it open and change the battery and fix it back up. But it's not, at this point, it wouldn't be worth
It's
it.
not really worth it.
No.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing, is transferring thing off to these is not difficult.
Not anymore.
No. You used to dread it. I mean,
Suck. Swap out your SIM card. Yeah.
fucking before then, you couldn't even save to the SIM card. You used to have to type contacts back in.
I remember that. Yeah, so stuff like that's going to get more expensive, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because like all the phone companies all the phone manufacturing companies were on there. South Korea, Japan,
Yeah.
they were all on there. Clothes are going to get more expensive. So, because Vietnam has like in Thailand is where most of your clothes come from.
I understand.
And they were like,
yeah.
they had like an 80% fucking tariff on our.
Crazy.
Well,
Well, I think I know why too.
Well, I don't know, man. I think that their math is a little fucked up on some of those things because they were saying it's both trade barriers and trade tariffs. So, and a trade barrier is just like, oh, well, we won't let you sell that here. So there's not a tariff on it. There's just a ban.
Right.
Okay, so you can't add that in the percentage because it's a zero. So,
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how they came up with some of those numbers, but whatever. He's like, it's half. All right, I'll meet you halfway. Okay. We'll
Dude,
see.
it's funny because you look at this, you're like, well, according to these numbers, you're being more than generous. I mean, there were some that were 1 for 1. I mean, there were things I was like, why does the UK have us at 10% on anything?
Oh, I don't know.
But they were. So like, okay, well, you get 10% in return.
Yeah, Australia was the same way. I was kind of surprised by that. So I don't even know what we trade with England. What do we import from England? I think I bought cheese from England once or
Yeah,
twice.
cheese. And you know that cheese sucks.
It is tangy.
Fucking foul. Well, okay,
It's a little tangy.
all right, dude. If you want to get them fucking cookies and stuff, it's like great, but it's like that's fine.
I
got some
there's
of those.
plenty of cookies here.
I bought stuff that we used to have just over on Flint Ridge. There was this British import store
Yeah, I remember
that
that.
I bought a couple of things from. I was like, "What are your biscuits like?" It's like they're cookies.
They are cookies,
They're fucking cookies.
and they're not very sugary.
No, they're not American cookies. They don't have.
There's no sprinkles.
I'm finding that the British tongue has no callus on it. It's the.
Is that what that is? I thought so.
It hasn't been. It hasn't been salt and sugar scorched like the average American.
It's been powder coated.
That's 100% true.
It's battle hardened, man. It's
It's been pickled.
And you know I'm not lying, because if you go to one of the most disappointing things you can do is you can go to over here. There's an Asian store,
Yeah.
right? And you can go in there, and if you go in there like a bind guayalo and just walk around and look at things that look like good looking pastries, and
Don't
say,
put that in your mouth.
and you say, "Wow, this looks equivalent to something you'd eat here," and you eat it, you're gonna say like, "What are these mud pies?"
Yeah.
That is not
Will
dessert.
Sugar,
It is not dessert. That's what you give to punish your kid.
like, yeah,
Came home with bad grades. This is what you get.
It's like it is. You know, it's funny because a guy that we used to work with, what he used to do is he would walk around with this bizarre form of black Japanese gum.
Oh god, that stuff was awful.
And that was the thing, and that was
make you bleed.
that was the practical joke. He's like, "You want a piece of gum?" It's like, "Sure," and then you take it.
That
and
seaweed gum.
yeah, it's the same thing with this, where you're like, You want one of these donuts?
You want a piece of candy?
I didn't get it. If that's because he was like, wow, this season has like powdered sugar on it. That's not powdered sugar. It's flour.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's talc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's their seasonings. Wow.
This
Oh,
isn't seeing you cook with this.
God.
Well, you know which ones I'm talking about,
I
too.
do.
It's just like, yeah,
I've never eaten one.
you tasted it. That's how you know that it's fucked up.
No. I don't think I've ever tasted it.
I thought as a kid we bit into a few of those things, and it just did not. It was not working for us. And I've tried them. I've tried them in later years too.
I've definitely never tried them in later years.
Oh, and yet somehow, and somehow the stripped squid is sweet,
That's true. Yeah.
which is bizarre.
It's the blood.
Is it?
I don't know, Jeff. I'm not putting that in my mouth.
I can't. How do you explain these foods to other people? It's like, what is this? It's like, it's kind of like squid jerky, but it has the consistency of Big League Chew.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It's in strips. You feel like you get to tear things apart a little bit.
Don't play with your food.
Right, right. And then you eat it, and then you breathe on something and melt the paint off of it. Fuck.
But your dog loves you.
Maybe.
Oh, I guarantee you, Winnie loves that stuff.
I have ever since that I do not. I would never. I don't bring that shit in this house.
Dog might go savage. It's like
For squid jerky.
it's the greatest smell in the world. Dude, Winnie was just like, I will follow you anywhere you go. Just please drop a little piece.
You didn't buy that, did you?
I've gotten it a couple of times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
It's tasty.
I don't want to see it ever again. I don't.
Well, the one in the strip, not the big flat piece that they dry out. That's
I don't even understand that. That
No,
is
it's-
like fucking like. I don't know how you take like the if you've had actual squid, you've seen the actual
Yeah.
animal, you've touched it. Okay, I don't. It's leather. It's like wet leather
Yeah.
to begin
Yeah,
with,
it's
and they
kinda-
make it harder.
Yeah, I don't even know how to
Like iron
necessarily.
You're not fucking around. They do it like right on the on the burner.
Yeah.
they just
Oh
flip
yeah.
it.
That's,
Yeah,
yep,
just
yep,
flip it right on the
did it.
fucking burner. I'm like, you're not even gonna put that in something. It's like, nah, like real squid cooks over at open flames.
Yeah, that stuff's no.
That is whack,
That's
dude.
not-
I don't understand. No.
It's like the dried out steak that we would eat. You just chew.
Oh.
You're literally just chewing flavorless stuff that just never seems to end.
Just practicing.
Working on them jaw muscles.
Well, so when you, I guess that's why they made A1 steak sauce.
It had a purpose. I never used it since I've had
Yeah.
steak.
Well, yeah, it's maybe I don't know. Maybe my dad was different. Maybe like before he'd eat that steak, he'd like swallow a whole bunch of like pebbles and rocks and fucking
And just keep it in his throat.
Goiter. It's like the goose with the butter.
Goose with butter?
Oh, okay.
That's
Foie
got
gras.
to be a YouTube
Yeah.
or something.
oh, it's the most inhumane food that you'll ever see.
It's butter fed goose, and they force feed the geese butter in
Basically,
order to make the meat
the liver.
extremely-
What's the
It's
liver?
liver, yeah,
What you're trying to do is basically fuck up the goose's liver because you know about fatty liver.
yeah.
That's what you want to make. But you use this high quality butter, and the goose is like, I don't eat that. So you make it with a funnel. See,
Oh.
good countries have disallowed that shit in their borders.
Well, that's
Like
okay.
this
I'm
one.
pretty sure France is getting a tariff too.
I understand that it is up there with like the finest foods, like some delicate, like delicious.
I've heard that too.
And if you think
Girlfriend
about
loves it.
it, she's had it.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
The foie gras.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't realize they were doing that to the poor animal. Oh,
I'm sure there's other ways they do it now. So
Just in.
I have seen the videos though where they literally stick the thing down the thing's throat.
It's
They're just
ridiculous.
like
Yeah.
toothpaste.
Yeah.
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 So
Because the goose is just like, I don't want to eat this. Like, you gotta.
and then we're gonna kill you
Right.
and take your liver.
Oh,
Hey, man, there's like other shit out there. There's the, what is it, that balut? The almost completed embryo of an egg
Oh yeah, yeah. Those are gross.
shit that you eat. Like,
I seen that shit where people
I'm
eat
not
that.
eating it.
Yeah, oh, it's like eating a little chicken. So
Oh, no.
like, whole.
dude,
Yeah.
hey, you're talking. This is me. This is like, if I sell that to him, I'm like, I'm gonna call the police. I want you all arrested. I don't think this is legal. I know that that maggot cheese is not allowed to be sold in the United States.
I didn't believe in that until my daughter showed me that a while back.
It's for real.
It is for real. They have cheese with maggots in it.
And they eat it, maggots and all.
Maggots and all. Yep.
Oh.
That's in Italy.
A certain part of it.
Only a very select part of it.
And my understanding is that the other Italians look at them like hunchbacks or like fucking.
It's like fucking hairy Japanese.
Red-headed dudes from OK.
Right, yeah.
Hokkaido, yeah.
Nope, that gets me to walk off Fear Factor right there.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah, no.
Done. See ya.
I know you. You're like, can't you just make me like jump off a water?
You impale me with something? No, man. Putting something disgusting and eating. Oh.
No, it's fucked up. That's why the show. That's why the show is stupid, because that's all they gravitated to. Because the whole idea was to make you like, walk around in a scary ghost house. It's like, I don't want to. But no, and then season 2 was like, oh, we got really big ones when people had to eat rhinoceros beetles. It's like the ones that can fight back. It's like, yeah.
You can't close your eyes and just swallow this sucker.
Stabbing the shark.
You have to actually chew it and see the guts squirt out of your
Well, that's
mouth.
why Bear Grylls. I got to point at the camera, so that when this thing explodes blood all over my face, that you can see it.
Yeah, it's not just that you eat it like what's alive. It's like, no, you have to defeat it in combat first.
With tooth and claw. What do you take?
Oh.
I'll take the pinchers.
And that's when the show ended. It was like, we're just out of gross stuff to eat.
Oh, Fear Factor?
Yeah.
I never watched that show because of the gross shit. So I couldn't. I just can't do that, man. I mean, every now and then I'll get ambushed by that shit on TikTok or on fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I got hit by the Japanese girl eating a live squid the other day.
Like one of the little
One of the little baby ones that they put in a cup, and you have to like, and it's like, oh, is it? I'm pretty sure it was Japanese there, but it might be Korean. So,
Well, Koreans love squid.
yeah,
Yeah. More so than the Japanese. The Japanese love octopus more than. Yeah.
Well, maybe it was octopus then. I don't know. So,
Did
it looked like a squid.
They do, like, they're little.
It was like translucent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I gotta tell you, I think octopus tastes like crap.
I've eaten it once. I'll never eat it again.
It's just not pleasant.
It's like chewing on a tire. So
tire eventually breaks down.
that's true. Eventually, you just have to commit with the octopus.
It's like how you order it. It's like it's like going to Goodyear. It's like, give me to head like Lincoln's head of like octopus. Yeah. Like, this is fucking. It's indestructible.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, so there is this there's this stuff that you can buy. What is the black noodles? Jajangmyeon?
Jajangmyeon.
All right. And every now and then, Mom would get really creative and say, like,
throw the squid in there.
Yes. And you're like, I've been chewing on this fucking eraser for like 14 minutes, and nothing has happened. It's like, what do? Did you swallow this whole? Because nothing's happening.
Well, the first time my ex came down, my mom made jajangmyeon.
With that?
And had her pull the eyeballs out of the squid.
No.
She was a little traumatized by that.
I don't even like it when I eat fish and still got the head on it. I can't.
No,
Yeah,
no.
do not
I
like
don't
it.
want to eat an eyeball.
No. Well, I'm not.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want
good
to look
point.
at me
Yeah.
though
Yeah.
either. Yeah.
Well, that's when everybody tells you, like, what's the best part? This
Then you eat it.
There's more for you.
Yeah.
Have them all.
You know what, man? The sun-dried tomatoes argument worked back then. It works now, too.
I still hate those motherfucking things, man.
Like, I don't think...
Because of sun-dried tomatoes. I'm like, I don't want that.
Like, man, I'm not afraid of what it's going to do to my immortal soul. It's just like, these are gross.
They are gross.
I mean, actually, they're not fucking squid gross, but they're just like, it's...
Okay. All right. That's pretty low bar, though.
No, you're talking about like just totally like selfish flavors where it's like, oh, somebody threw peppers on this.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's all peppers.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, it's got capers in it. Yay.
It's like, all right, so it's like, I don't know which one of you guys decided like, oh, let me ruin this dish by putting these little like stones that I mined from the devil's asshole right up into your salad. You know, it's like, these are great.
What stones are those?
Capers.
Oh.
I mean, I understand the one thing that I'm weird about are like water chestnuts, but that's just because they have a weird texture. They don't taste like
anything.
anything.
With artichokes. Yeah.
Artichokes, they do have a flavor, but they just look like an organ from an animal you don't want to
artichoke
eat.
heart, when it's in your mouth, feels weird.
Yes.
Yes. It feels like you're eating a frog that's alive.
Nope, that's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Well, they look whack too. I never, like I said, I don't think they look like the frog. They look like an organ that you're not supposed to be eating.
Right, yeah. He coughed up one of the little fruit.
And then you see them in the jar and you're like, oh God, this is just weird Jewish food, isn't it? It's not.
I've had it in a lot of different like contexts, like any kind of Mediterranean restaurant. You got to be careful with the salads because there might be one hiding in there. So
you're not wrong. And it's also remember when I talked about like the Punnett square of like smart dumb?
Yeah.
Artichoke hearts are like the dumb smart, where stupid people think they're a sophisticated food.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Is like you can, and that's the thing. You go to a place and they're like, you want some artichoke dip? And like, no, not really. It's like, all right, well, you're buying it. That'll be $18.
Well, we're going to be importing those here soon, so scare it right off the menu, buddy.
You think those things don't grow here?
I'm sure they do.
Well, actually, no. There are some foods that don't grow here like well, right?
There's a lot.
Like bananas, they really don't grow here that much, do we?
I don't think so. Maybe Hawaii. So, yeah.
Well, that's still going to be expensive.
Bananas are really cheap right now.
They're really cheap.
That's like the cheap.
I'm sure there's plenty of
food.
places you can get bananas, or I know you can get them from the Caribbean. So I don't know how many of those, countries were on the thing,
Okay.
But then, like,
I know Mexico has a ton of them.
What, bananas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mexico has poorer cousins to its south that might not have tariffs. I'm sure they have bananas there.
That's a staple for me.
Bananas?
Yeah, you eat a lot of them.
I eat one every day.
Oh. I don't eat bananas, man. They make me poop. So
you got to do that, man.
I do that just fine without the bananas. If I put a banana in there, it's going to have an extra.
So, like when you say that, like it's starting to make it because you're like, well, I do this once a week.
Doesn't coffee do that?
Yeah, it totally does.
Okay.
So if I eat a banana and that
coffee, it's bad news. Well, I don't drink coffee, so my banana is a perfect balance.
That does it to me too, man.
Oh. When's the last time you had a Mountain Dew?
It's been a while.
A decade?
Not that long.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I do drink soda from time to time. I keep like Sprite in my house. So
Sprite and Mountain Dew are in the same family, I'd say.
Pretty close. Sprite doesn't have near as much caffeine in it. So.
Or as much toxic color.
It's not radioactive.
Clear, isn't it?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, right.
It's got a lot of sugar.
It looks almost refreshing.
It tastes fine. It
Yeah,
has
you're fine.
hints of lemon and lime. Pretty good. Like the only soda that I think like that actually tastes kind of whack now is 7 Up because its association with being ill is
Oh,
Yeah,
unshakable.
I'm the same way with club soda though. So.
I hear a lot of people when they talk about like ginger ale, it's the same thing.
Oh,
'Cause
okay, I believe
that
that.
was
Yeah,
there,
that was my mom's go-to when her stomach was upset. She'd give me a
which is
ginger ale.
weird because you're like,
Kind of.
here you feel sick, have a carbonated beverage.
To be fair, it helped. Yeah.
I
yeah, that
get
and
it.
crackers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Those little oyster crackers.
We never had the little oyster
Really?
crackers. No,
Oh
no.
man.
We had clubs.
Oh, see, we didn't have those.
Those
Yeah.
are sugary crackers.
Yeah.
The most sugary, buttery crackers that you can get.
They're
Yeah.
delicious.
It's like
My dad was much more into the saltines. He always had the saltines.
Those are good too.
they're absolutely fine. But I thought your dad was a big pretzel guy.
Oh well, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, but you don't put pretzels in your soup. So
Oh.
you put saltines in your soup.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in the jury thing, when we all got sick, one of the people said that she just cut up a ginger square and just sucked on it, and you lightly chew on it, and it clears your throat. I've never had ginger.
Like raw ginger in the
Yeah.
house.
And
It's pretty
so
cool.
I was
man.
just like, oh, cool, I'll try it. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty gross, man. Like, really?
It's got some.
You use very little of that in your cooking. So, yeah.
Yeah, I threw in a whole sugar cube size thing in my mouth.
They carve it into tiny. They carve it into like what is that? We used to get them all the time. They used to be 25 cents. They were the lunch meat. You open one up here.
Oh,
and,
the buildings?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that?
Where with your sushi, they give you little slices like that thin of
Ginger.
Ginger.
Yeah, I've seen it, but isn't it pink?
because I think it's pickled.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
that's
okay.
different. Yeah.
But they give you a little bit of that there to basically clean your palate, not like cubes where they're like, here, eat your sushi, suck on this, right?
It's supposed to help your throat, so.
I believe, you know what? There's probably something in it. I don't
Oh,
doubt it,
it
but I've never been sick and like went to the fucking crystal store either. So
You can go get some magnetic beads.
well, you did. You had your tarot cards read and all that shit too.
I tried once.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
tarot.
Yeah, I tried just to see
Yeah.
what it was like.
I did mine at the Ren Fest.
What did yours come up with?
I don't remember.
Yeah, mine didn't give me anything.
I did
fantastic.
tarot and I had my palms read. So the palm reading was by this 70-year-old flamingly gay man. So who was just a delight.
Oh,
You know?
I was hoping that was the one time you like. It's like I don't know why I reacted the way I said. Don't touch me, man.
No, he was great. He was way into the palm reading.
Right,
So
right,
yeah, and he had the beads and everything, like the fucking like the Dumbledore hat and shit.
Did he look like he was having a good time?
He was definitely having a
That's
good time.
all
Yeah,
that matters,
I'm sure
man.
he was stoned
Yeah.
off his ass.
It's wonderful.
Did you get a good reading?
I don't remember. So it was a long time ago.
All I know is my mom would read my palm sometimes.
She would.
Yeah, I was told I'm going to live a long time. Apparently,
That's
what I
supposed to be this line.
this one, yeah. See, mine's
this one.
split like this. So,
It's supposed to be this one, and
but if it goes all the way around your knuckle, you're going to live forever. Apparently.
well, and supposedly this one is supposed to be your success line, and you want this to go toward one of these two fingers.
Oh, like that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Like,
What?
this has never made me a fucking dime. Like, it's not.
It's never made me a dime either.
No,
I had to do that by working, Jeff.
these are pretty soft.
I just told Jeff this is the first time I've really had to work in 14 years.
Really?
Work
Oh,
since I was like a roughneck.
yeah.
Well, that was like triple work.
That was
work.
That's a lot of
way work. But since then, I've had jobs that did me pretty well, where I didn't
You
do
didn't
a
have
lot
to
of
do
work.
a lot of work.
Now I'm working.
Working will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've all had to do some physical shit in our lives, man. It's like,
Oh yeah,
I'm good.
I think most people need
not in
something.
physical. Work.
Yeah, something in comparison where they have some story where it's like, dude, I was tarring roofs in July. You know, it's like that's why I went back to college or whatever.
I loaded airplanes for 5 years.
You know what? I talked to somebody
Yeah.
else that did that too. I talked to a dude that, uh, yeah, it was he kind of shared stories like your dad. It's like, so everybody that did this from these years to these years all had knee surgery.
Oh, I guarantee. I was a good boy. I always wore my pads. So
Just a lot of people didn't, huh? Well, it just
most
wasn't.
people wouldn't.
It was
So,
just
'cause
it's part of the
you're
culture.
just, oh
Right?
no, you're just tough guy. Get in there, get it done. Brr.
Yeah.
Same thing with like not putting your ears in. So I'd be like, you guys are fucking insane.
What?
So, what? Yeah. What? Yeah.
You ever been to somebody's house that their hearing is fucked up like that?
Oh,
Where
yeah. My
you
mom.
where you go in there and they're like watching baseball and they've got the volume of it to 88.
Yeah. Yep. I hate to say it, my father-in-law's like that. So he just likes shit loud, and he's got a sound system that's in the walls of his house.
I love that.
It's awesome.
I love that.
I mean, he shares a house with a roofmate. I'm sure his roofmates fucking hate him. So- it literally shakes the floor.
Yeah, but back then, it just wasn't okay to wear protection as kids. Anything like
It was bikes.
Yeah. it was. You got made fun of, so I'm not surprised the adults were making fun of other adults.
You never get made fun of for using your PPE. It was just like, there were guys who just didn't do it, and you didn't give them shit and they didn't give you shit, So it was kind of, now when I was on the railroad, you definitely wore your shit. So, because we'd write you up or whatever, and then at the same point in time, I mean, if you're on a locomotive for 12 hours without ear protection,
You're done.
you're going to go deaf very quickly. So
That's a good point. I've never been on it to hear how loud it gets in that.
it's surprisingly loud if it's under load. So, because it's a big 28-cylinder engine that's like 6 feet away from you.
Jesus. Okay,
Yeah.
and is it also well, especially because it's continuous too. So
You don't
it
turn
never
them
stops.
off.
Yeah,
You never
yeah,
turn them off.
yeah.
You don't hit the silent mode.
Yeah, it's called the red button. Then you got to start it all over again. So,
Well, this is what I don't understand is like every now and then. You actually hold on. You said you were on the gram now, right?
On the gram?
Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you ever come across like every now and then they'll post videos of dudes that are roughnecking, right?
I
And are
haven't
tripping
seen
pipe. Okay. Every now and then they'll just be like, check out this dude, and it's always a dude who's got like no shirt on.
Yeah.
Like
It's just covered in
he's covered in crap, and like every time I look at him, like you're not allowed to do that.
Not in America.
Well, some of them are definitely American, but because I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah.
But if you get in the comments of some of those guys are just drilling for water. So
Oh, yeah. If you're doing surf, you have to be going past a certain.
Before you have to wear.
Right, because if you don't go past a certain depth, you don't have any fire.
I see.
Yeah, but
So you don't
like
have to wear-
gloves and shit.
Some of them are not wearing gloves, which is kind of weird.
That is
So
weird.
yeah, and I mean they're just covered with that fucking mud.
And these are
So-
they don't have some of them don't have goggles on either. I'm like, I can guarantee you still have to wear protective eyewear.
Dude, they did the freaking show Black Gold, and those guys were doing it in tank tops and stuff.
Yeah, that seems crazy.
So
It's like, I know that you get yelled at.
it should.
Well, it might be an independent outfit. So
You still got to follow OSHA rules.
do you if it's a 3-man thing? So I mean, if you're not
Well, I mean-
signed off by Halliburton,
That might be true.
Mm.
who knows? That's why I was curious about that because it was like, man, I mean, because you guys had all that kit, and I'm like, what's going on with these guys? But
Yeah.
you get down to the comments, and there's a guy who's like, oh, he's just drilling for water. So
That
this
makes
is a water
sense.
rig,
Okay.
kind of
Because it
thing.
would come out like a light brown.
It's not thick black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's light brown.
It's light brown,
Yeah.
and it's just mud. In that makes sense because they're just going to get covered in it because they're like probably not even caring about containing it and all that stuff.
No, they're wide open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's straight water.
Okay.
There's no chance you do that when you're
With
drilling.
oil,
Yeah.
get it all over you.
Well, that shit's expensive too.
Oh, okay.
Their drilling fluid is expensive.
The water?
No, with the drilling, with like what we drill. That stuff is
The
so.
invert
That's
shit?
why you have to contain it. Like they don't want losses.
This shit is going all over the place.
Yeah.
In the videos.
Yeah, that's straight.
Well, I thought that was also like twofold. It's expensive, but also like it's like chicken, man. Don't get any on you, homie.
They don't care about people.
They don't care about people. They care about the invert. Yeah.
It might be beneficial for you, but when shit goes wrong, you're standing in the cellar getting soaked by it. They're not like, oh, yeah, watch out, it's coming. No, man, it's the business first.
There was a guy. There was a guy on the last rig I was on before COVID put an end to all that, who now has a chunk missing out of his nose, right? Because he got bit by a black widow.
Oh,
in his sleep.
A black widow?
Yep.
Oh,
no, a brown recluse.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, by a brown recluse in his sleep in their
shacks.
Yes, and they had to make up some story where somehow they had to pretend like he was off.
Why?
So it doesn't count as a strike.
Oh, it doesn't count as an injury.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a guy. He was working for me on the road. He got bit by a brown recluse while he was on a locomotive, and
shit.
Oh, dude, it takes days for that shit. If you get bit, it's not like you wake up the next day you got necrosis all over your fucking face.
No, well,
it takes a couple days.
Well, no, because he worked through the next day.
That was a problem, and he needed to go to the hotel. He needed to go to the hospital.
Yeah,
hotel.
Yeah,
sleeping off.
I'd like to see that as so. Okay, he came to talk to me. I told him, "Walk it off, pussy," and then
you don't put that in the report. But
so, like the next day, he said he was feeling like kind of messed up, and then people looked at him and was like, "Your nose looks fucked up."
Well, it gets red.
Yeah, he's like, and it kind of hurts. Yeah. And that's when they
you need to go to the hospital.
So that's how that happened.
There's a couple shots they have to give you. I had to go through the whole thing.
Well, with this guy.
Well, that's if it goes for a couple days.
Yeah.
But if you get to a hospital within a day or two, there's shit that they can do because basically they'll freeze it, okay, and then it'll stop the necrosis, okay, and you'll have a little scar, but you won't lose any tissue.
He lost tissue.
Yeah, I know.
Like you could see it, like it was just like dug out.
No, there was other guys up there. There was one guy who had like a melty leg because of that, and he just let it go for like a week. So yeah, he was just like, well, I just thought it was going to get better. So, but yeah, we had recluse spiders all over the place up there. I caught one in my house once. So,
you were the one that taught me the duct tape trick, right?
Put the duct tape on your bedposts.
Yeah.
Yep. So that would catch them to keep them from climbing up onto your bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just invert duct tape and wrap it around your bedposts.
Gosh, yeah.
They told me that the first week I got there.
You're like, sure.
I was like,
I don't
really?
want to.
And they're like, yeah, they're around here, so you got to be careful about that. It's like if you get bit, you'll notice it within a day. You need to go to the hospital that day. So if you don't, this is what happens. And they showed me that guy's leg.
Going to the hospital. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So when we got an injury dinger on that one, we didn't care. So the guy was like, I got bit and I caught it and he had it. He had smashed it.
Right.
And you can tell what a recluse spider is because it's got a little
violin on it.
It's got a violin on its back. Yeah. That's called a fiddleback spider.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so we took him to the hospital and he showed him the spider. And like, yep, you need a shot.
Yeah, but this dude needed to have it dug out. And they had to make it shit
right on the nose, too. That's terrible.
Got him in the night. Yeah. And that's the thing is that they had to make up that bullshit where it's like, okay, you are in the middle of your shit. How can we make up that you got sent home or something?
It's bullshit. You should just take the dinger.
Well,
I get it.
Well, this is because they paid bonuses on this kind of stuff.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, if you have no incidents, you get paid like a $25 bonus, and then it kind of goes up per day. So it encourages people not to report.
That's That's bad.
It's well because there should be a
That's
distinction.
bad.
There should be a distinction between fucking like, well, I was playing Jungle Gym on the pipes versus spider bit me in the sleep.
Well, yeah, if you're playing Jungle Gym on the. So we had a thing that was basically like a negligent injury.
Right.
That didn't count against us. That counted against you.
We had one guy who found a pocket knife on the ground when we were doing a rig move, and he opened it up and he pretended he was a pirate and stabbed one of the guys.
Now you go to jail.
He's just like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And it's just like,
You fucking stupid. Yeah, I know.
Well, famously, we had a guy. People told stories of the dude that like shot his foot off. Right.
He didn't shoot it. He shot himself in the leg, in
Forgive
the
me.
thigh,
Right.
on
That
location.
could be lethal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like there was
okay.
blood all over the place, and he tried to pretend that he did it off location, and
Except for the blood all over the place.
the hole in the
There was
wall.
that might do it too. So was it coming down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. So I was like, wait a minute, were you standing? No. I wasn't even here, buddy.
This is also the same guy that got drunk and rode a pump jack and all that kind of stuff.
He needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Because I heard stories about that guy.
I mean, it's pretty legendary.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, there aren't too many guys that have pulled that one. Or maybe it's happened more than I give it credit for. But riding the pump jack, that happens to plenty of the guys.
What was the pump jack? What was riding that?
Giant
The
things that go
giant,
up and
yeah.
down. You climb way up there and you sit and you ride it like a bull
Yeah.
when you're drunk.
So the drunk part, yeah, that's a problem.
Well, okay, you're not supposed to have booze on location
No.
either.
But
But
everybody
guns on location.
Come on, Jeff. The jihadis might get us out here.
I'm glad to know we had some defense. At some of the station I worked at, we did have a gate guard.
Cool.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Why would you need a gate guard?
Protester.
yeah, actually, it was
Really?
protesters. Yeah,
Oh.
it was protesters. We had. I think we
There's
saw
Colorado
ones
ones.
once.
Colorado protesters.
I mean, I never saw the protesters, but
There were we had one at a spot in North Dakota.
So what do they do? So they chain themselves to the gate?
they have a little shack,
Okay.
Yeah.
a little 2x2 shack.
It looks like the thing that the Japanese cops actually hang out in, that they sit around and watch TV in, and then
Or the guys that collect your toll.
Actually, yeah, because they're the ones with the
Yeah,
gate.
The
that go up and down.
protesters?
No,
No.
The gate guard. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was about to say.
They set up a shack
Yeah.
right outside.
Hey, climate change.
We're here for the long
And they
haul.
Go back to playing their Nintendo. So
I mean, they even told us that sometimes in the meetings, they're like, hey, there might be protesters
Yeah.
that show up that
Yeah.
might wander on location in certain
Oh.
parts. Do not engage.
do not engage.
Do not punch them. Do not
Do not shoot them.
do not do anything to them. Let us know. We call the police.
Well, it's funny you say that because you're right. Because you are people. What have we talked about? Those are the people that are just like we have a name for them. The people that are just waiting to like ambush somebody that would break into their house,
Oh yeah.
right? And I think those dudes you're talking
Just
about
a little bit too eager.
just love the opportunity.
Oh, they would love the chance to just punch these guys.
Yeah.
Although I never saw one of them, but
No, they kept saying they'd be coming. They always had like a tip on it or something. And I remember there was kind of like a big deal going on one of them where there was something where they were protesting like a pipeline or something. I was like, I don't remember, but
fracking.
Fracking.
get over it.
Yeah, I think everybody did kind of get over that.
Speaking of not getting over it, man, I got into so there was news about the Nintendo Switch 2 today.
Okay.
All right. Just in case your kids go looking for this.
Okay.
All right. So I think it's $450 for the unit.
Okay.
Do they make it in Japan?
I presume so.
It's going to be more than.
digital
450 today.
digital copies of the games are $80. And if you want a game with a physical copy, like if you're buying a box, $90.
Wow.
So
I'm not surprised.
you should be.
Well, I'm not, man. I mean, they've been trying to break the $60, $70. I mean, GTA. They've already said GTA 6 can be $100.
This ain't GTA 6.
Yeah,
We're
no, I
talking
get
about
that,
fucking like
Yeah.
Mario Tennis
I get it, man. I mean,
and fucking
they will all
The
go that
fact
way
it
as soon as
hasn't
somebody
gone
does.
up
Yeah.
after this many years. That's kind of surprising. Everything else
It does
has
surprise
gone
me.
up.
Yeah.
So I'm
It can't stay $60 forever.
it's not 60. It wasn't even 70. It's
80.
fucking 80 for a digital game and 90 if you want a box.
So what comes in with the box?
The package, dude.
It's just a box.
well. Then you can move it. You can.
It
Other
has the
people can use
little
it.
card
Yeah.
that you put the game
Oh, okay.
on.
So it's got the physical
Physical.
copy of the game.
The
It's not
physical
just a
copy
box
is-
with a fucking manual in it.
Dude, there are some things out there where they make collector's items where it's just like a box for a digital copy of things
Yeah,
for
okay,
collectors.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, $10 extra for an actual physical copy. So almost at the $100 mark if you want to buy a physical game. Fuck that.
I'm sure we'll have it. I'm guessing. That falls under health and wellness. So
Oh, okay. So that's
You gotta use my HSA
Right.
dollars.
Right.
my health and well-being subsidy. Yeah.
I was talking to someone else about that the other day.
Huh.
I can't remember. It's just the idea that you actually get money to spend on the Twitch. And I was mentioning, I can't remember what the context was. And someone I was talking to, might have been at the yacht club, was like, "Oh, I do that too." I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "How do I get me some health and wellness?"
You can't buy a computer. You can buy a game.
See, that's weird.
Well, you were able to finagle the fucking like VR shit, right?
The VR is, but my 3D printer wasn't. Even though that I could use for my hobby. But I guess the VR thing, you are actually moving.
Right. What do you mean for your hobby? Is your hobby
Hobbies
making-
count as health and wellness.
Okay.
Oh man, I would totally buy model trains.
Yeah, you can do all the paints, all the everything.
Shit, actually, that's a good point. Are people actually 3D printing model trains now too?
Oh, I'm sure they are.
That seems like a great decision.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find all that stuff out there. So
I think you need to sand it and like make them better.
Yeah.
Because everybody's selling them right now where they're just printed.
dude,
and
it used to be like if I wanted to buy like little figurines, a pack of like 5 of them would cost like $10.
Mhm.
Okay, because they're all made by this company in Germany, kind of thing. The last time I bought like a fucking sack of them for like $2 because
And they have M16s and
no, they're just like
binoculars.
pedestrians and shit. They're like things that you put in the city street, and it used to be like,
Yeah.
okay, if I build a town, it's got like 5 people in it because I paid $10 for 5
Right.
people. Those guys are $2 a piece,
Right.
so they're very easy to break. And then
Right.
the last time, when they started doing 3D printing, it destroyed that entire industry because I can order whatever the fuck I want,
Right.
and get it shipped from China. And even if they have an 80% tariff on it, it'll cost me $3.
Versus yet the 2 guys in Dusseldorf that used to like hand
Hand
whittle
paint
these.
them with the
Yes.
multiple lenses on their glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, that's probably how they made those.
And you had that dude with the magnifying glass that comes down like this,
Yes.
and he's got a 1 horsehair brush to
Right.
paint
Yeah,
eyebrows.
yeah. He's just using a really, really thin needle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Toothpick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toothpick painter. Yeah, dude, it's I've seen like there's certain things like especially like certain old toys where if you could have the toy but certain parts were guaranteed to get lost or broken.
Oh, you can just get replacements.
And
now.
people, it's just like, oh yeah, so you want the whole kit? It's
Oh.
like, so that's $9.50.
Yep.
Shipping is $26.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, from where? Georgia.
Georgia.
When's it gonna get here? 6 days. How much does it weigh? Less than an ounce because it's plastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But that being said, like almost breaking the $100 mark for fucking like rabbits gone wild and shit. I'm like, no, man, this is.
Wasn't
You weren't
Nintendo
gonna
always
buy it
been trying
anyway.
to do that
I
kind of
bought the
stuff?
last one.
Did you?
Yes.
And
The
you gave it
Switch?
to us.
Yes.
Yes. So that
They
says
always
you
buy
don't,
some new consoles, man.
you have no intention of using it anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, the thing is that the games that come out for it will dictate whether I buy it.
They're going to be Mario based.
Yeah, but
Is that like the whole Nintendo universe?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
well, it's most of it. But I mean, that being said, they do come out with some. They do come out with some creative stuff every now and then. And frankly, yeah, I don't want to buy like. Look, Mario hasn't been Mario for a long time. Not in the way that I want it. I don't want to bitch about that, but there's a lot of emphasis on like, do you want to go exploring? It's like, hell no. I want to move left to right, and I want this to be a skill game, right? I do, because that's what I grew up with. I don't want to sit there and say, like, I want to climb up these trees, and I want to go find a star in the seventh toilet, and go just like, what? It's like, no fun. There is a series of games on there that are basically like Time Waster 5000, and ever since the 3D era, that's the one that the games journalists can't stop busting nuts over and say like, "Oh, this is amazing!" It's like you get to
Can't even
explore.
listen to those guys anymore.
No, man, the fucking have you looked at the AC Shadows debacle?
No, what was the game that you were telling me about last time that I need to go check out?
Inzoi.
What is that?
Inzoi is it's the new Sims game.
Okay.
Okay, it's the new Sims game. Comes out of Korea. Biggest problem I have with that is they released it's early access.
Oh, so
Okay.
they released it.
But people are going nuts over this. For a couple of reasons, because it's just enough not The Sims to feel like its own thing,
Okay.
right? But it absolutely scratches that Sims itch for a lot of people,
Okay.
like it was the first time. And there's one other thing that is just like lighting people's fancy up,
Uh-huh.
is what?
It doesn't have werewolves and shit like that.
No.
Okay.
No,
good.
no,
All
as a
right.
matter of
I was about to say.
That's sort of the
me just
sidestep,
stop you here.
right? That's sort of the sidestep. No, the thing that it has is it has this completely, extremely accurate facial tracker to build yourself
Oh God, no.
into the game, which there are people having an absolute blast with. I'm
I'll bet.
like this is really kind of neat. But this is so there's people diving into it again.
Okay. Inzoid, huh?
Inzoi,
Okay.
INZOI. The again,
That one did not come across my radar, but I'll go look for it.
it just the whole thing about it. The one problem is it is still early access, and I said
Everything's
I'm not
early
doing it.
access
It's like
now.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
They want $40 for it.
Ooh, that's pricey for early access.
It is.
Yeah.
Um,
It's on Steam.
it is on Steam.
Okay. I'll go look at it.
But yeah, this is like if you haven't scratched a Sims itch in a long time, but want something that actually makes it feel like it's new, because you did play the fourth one a little bit, right?
It was bad.
Well, it's
It was
just
so bad.
it does one thing I think great. The builder. I thought the builder was.
Oh, and 4? Yeah.
yeah, I thought the builder
great.
was great,
Yeah,
but the rest of the game was just.
it's ass. So
Well, it just felt like 2 generations back.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, all right, I've done all this. It's like, oh, well, there's new stuff you can do. It's like,
not
is there?
really.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
They have like 22 like.
Oh yeah,
Expansion
DLC.
packs.
Yay. Yeah.
There's like $400
Yeah,
worth of
no.
game over there that you can add to.
That was the one I did not like because it had simultaneous like all the
No, that was
houses.
the third one.
Was it?
Yeah. The third one was the one where life went on.
That was the
Without
one
you.
that I hated. Then maybe I just got bored of 4.
4 was like
It was really cartoony, if I recall.
it was cartoony,
Okay.
but it felt a lot like 2, but with an extremely good builder. But it felt like bare bones. It felt like it was stripped down from.
Yeah, okay,
previous
yeah, I
episodes,
did
yeah.
play. That was one that you started with like 4 different neighborhoods.
Yep.
And okay, I did play that one. It did get boring. So because we played it. No, 3 was the one that infuriated me because I came back and they invited like half the neighborhood to come live with me.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck? There's a lot of people in my house now that I don't know. It's like, well, I couldn't pay my bills, so I got roommates. So it's like, get a fucking job. Did you think about that?
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, it's like, oh, I like this, man. There's a lot of lowriders and ranchero music being played by me.
So,
I thought I moved away from you guys.
right, yeah. My beautifully segregated neighborhoods. You've been ruined.
All right, so
No, what was the other game that you were talking about?
that was the one I was talking about.
No, just a minute. Age of what?
Oh, Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh, the Japanese one?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not even interested. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I skipped right over that one. The one that I was looking at was Schedule 1. Have you seen that?
I have.
Okay, I might check that out.
This seems like I think I'd have more fun watching people play it.
Okay, I might have to go watch a couple people play it and see if I'm going to pull trigger on that. It was cheap as fuck.
It is cheap
yeah.
as fuck.
And I kind of it's like you get to be Walter White.
You do,
Yeah,
well, with
really?
Reed, yeah. But it's very, very simple. But the premise is there is something fun to the premise. There is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because this is the same thing. That's one of the reasons that Assassin's Creed got blown up because their fucking mouthpiece on Twitter was talking all this shit, and they kept throwing out things like, "We've got 3 million players."
The fucking indie games got like you lapped
That
three
was
times.
the thing,
I know.
and they showed like the concurrent players on Steam, and it never crested like 35,000. And they're like, "Well, Monster Hunter's been out for like 2 months, and it's just like 1 million this weekend." It's like, and the whole thing is like, y'all need to actually sell like 8 million full price copies to break even.
Yeah, exactly. So
and they're talking all this shit, and all the fucking like the journalists, they spent like over they linked the documents today that said they spent over $2 million just paying influencers to basically like play it and sponsor and review it. And Ubisoft got their major, they got sectioned out to Tencent. So all this talk about like the game's fucking doing awesome, you chuds. But yeah, when it came in, the fucking Chinese company went out there and said like, we'll take this and this and this, and whatever happens to the rest of these like 20,000 employees is up to you.
Yeah, you can chop this up and turn it into dog food for all care.
Right, which is why today like they put out that email. We regret to say. And
dude, I'm telling you, games development in the future is going to be 1-2 man shops, and they're going to make things like Schedule 1.
I agree.
So yeah, that's just the way that it's going to be. That guy made more money than that entire fucking studio in one weekend. Yeah. Just with a good idea. I mean, because you've seen the game. It looks like hot garbage. The guys don't even blink. It's hilarious, And so it's just like some of those things. And it's just like, okay, all right, a child could make this. All right, and this guy made like $6 million in one weekend on this fucking game. So,
well, that's the house that Flappy Bird built.
I know.
I mean, it's that, and somewhere out there's some pioneers in this industry, and they built this game, and it was silly as shit. And they said, "What could we name this that undercuts how not serious this game is?" I said, "I got an idea. Let's call it the Totally Accurate Battle Simulator."
I love that game. That one is so much fun to watch.
Cool.
And oh, dude, that is a YouTube rabbit hole that'll suck you down for weeks.
And if you're talking about guys that had a very simple idea,
made an absolute mint off of it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think the guys who have probably cleaned up the most. I think John and James Roblox are probably the
those guys are ridiculously rich.
The crookiest of crook people in the world.
They have a one-way ticket to hell.
There we go.
It hasn't been punched, but it has been collected.
All right.
All right, I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
Going right
Yeah.
now.